Good evening. My name is Ileana Mandariccio, and today I would like to talk to you guys about animal testing and the dangers that are associated with it. It is estimated that 2 billion animals are used every year in the United States to develop medical treatments, determine the toxicity of medications, and check the safety of products destined for human use. They are also used for other biomedical, commercial, and healthcare uses. Now, because my position is that I am against animal testing, I want to start off by giving some reasons why people are for animal testing. People that are for animal testing say that it has helped develop many life-saving treatments for both humans and animals, and that there is no alternative method for researching on a complete living organism. They also say that strict regulations prevent the mistreatment of animals in laboratories. However, this is certainly not always the case. Animals are subject to many cruel and inhumane experiences while undergoing animal testing. These practices include long periods of physical restraint, neck breaking, and even decapitation. Now, I know you're probably asking yourself, why such extremes just to test out a few products? Well, scientists also study the animals so that they can find out more about the healing process and remedies that they are experimenting against. Now, I want you to take a few moments to look at this picture of a bunny. Look at how cute it looks just sitting there. Notice its bushy fur and sweet eyes. Now, I want you to keep this image in your head. Now, look at this next bunny. Look at what happened to it after it was subject to animal testing practices. Does this look like the laboratory it was tested in had strict regulations? No, it doesn't. This is not even the worst of animal cruelty that happens in testing laboratories. Rabbits are often victims of animal experimenters because they are mild-tempered and easy to handle. More than 160,000 of them are abused in U.S. laboratories every year. For example, even though researchers have found more effective alternatives, rabbits are still tormented in the Draize eye irritancy test, in which cosmetics and other substances are dripped into the animal's eyes. This experiment often causes the rabbits to have redness, swelling, discharge, ulceration, hemorrhaging, cloudiness, and blindness in their eyes. The rabbits are incapacitated in stocks in this test, with their eyelids held open by clips, sometimes for multiple days, so that they cannot blink away the products that are being tested. Once the experiment is over, the rabbits are killed. Scientists only use this method because it costs less money and requires less regulation than more modern methods. Yet, they still torture the rabbits. According to PETA, which stands for People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, there are over 100 million mice and rats that are killed in laboratories each year. They are deliberately electroshocked in pain studies, are mutilated in experimental surgeries that are used to promote medical research, and have everything from cocaine to meth pumped into their bodies. The picture shows mice who have been forced to breathe cigarette smoke so that researchers can study the effects it would have on human bodies. PETA's investigations inside the laboratories of UNC Chapel Hill and the University of Utah revealed that mice and rats were given enormous tumors and inserted with deadly illnesses. Rats had holes drilled into their skulls for invasive brain experiments. Imagine if you were one of these mice being subjected to these awful testings. How would you feel? Even though dogs are loved by humans and referred to as man's best friend, they are still not exempt from harsh testing. Dogs are often used in toxicology studies to study chemicals. Test substances are force-fed to animals or injected into their bodies, slowly poisoning them. A laboratory was even shut down in 2015 after PETA found it injecting cats and dogs with worms to study insecticides for humans and other dogs. Dogs were kept for months being infested with worms without ever being treated by veterinarians. Does that seem humane to you? And for this last slide, I have provided a few links that could help you have a voice against such a huge issue in our society. Just because animals cannot communicate like we can does not mean that they are less than us. They deserve to live freely without interruption from us, and that simply cannot happen if we keep allowing them to be tested on. So thank you for listening, and have a great night.